But here he is. Lauer asked him about the inflammatory things you said. Any chance you'll knock that off? It's a tough question. And Trump then says something absolutely bizarre about his trip to Mexico.
Talk about you and Commander-in-Chief, and not just Secretary Clinton, but some of your Republican opponents in the primary season, and they wonder about your temperament. And they say, does Donald Trump have the temperament to be Commander-in-Chief? You said something recently that I found interesting. You admitted that sometimes in the heat of a debate or when you're talking about a lot of issues, you say things that you later regret. So can we afford that with a Commander-in-Chief, to have a Commander-in-Chief who says things that he later regrets?
Pause it. Pause it. What's he going to say? The suspense is killing me. Do you think Trump is going to say, yeah, I'll be okay? Or do you think he's saying, no, we can't. You're right. I'm going to resign now. I'm going to quit the race. Honestly, it's as if Matt Lauer is saying, like, do you think you're good? Do you think you're good? Do you think you're good or do you think you're great?
Regrets.
Well, when you say regret, yeah, sure, I regret. But in the meantime, I beat 16 people, and here I am. So, to a certain extent, there is a regret. I would have liked to have done it in a nicer manner. But I had 16 very talented people that I had to go through, and that was a lot of people.
But when you say
that was a record, Matt. That was a record in the history of Republican politics. I was able to get more votes than anybody ever has gotten in the history of Republican politics.
But when you say inflammatory things in a presidential campaign, it's different than saying them when you're Commander-in-Chief. If you say things you regret when you're Commander-in-Chief, you can spark a conflict, you can destabilize a region, you can put American lives at risk. Can we afford to take that risk with you?
Well, I think absolutely. I think if you saw what happened in Mexico the other day, where I went there, had great relationships, everything else, I let them know where the United States stands. I mean, we've been badly hurt by Mexico, both on the border and with taking all of our jobs, or a big percentage of our jobs. And if you look at what happened, look at the aftermath today, where the people that arranged the trip in Mexico have been forced out of government. That's how well we did.
Back in August.
Okay, now, you'll notice that after Trump says, as a measure of how well I did on this quasi-diplomatic mission, the people who set it up were forced out of government. That's how well we did. And Matt Lauer's response is to move on to the next question, as opposed to say, wait, what? Do you think you're going to get invited back to a country if success for you is the firing of close aides to the head of the government in the wake of your visit? This is one of the most bizarre things I've ever heard. And the idea that Matt Lauer didn't go like Matt Lauer asked a question, the premise of which was basically delivered back to him by Trump at the end of that question. Can we afford someone whose idea about diplomatic relations are so tenuous that they're dangerous? Blah, 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 blah. Look, I got people fired from another country. That's success. Wait, what? But no, he had to move on to another question about, do you feel like you're terrific or not so terrific? Honestly, that is one of the most bizarre.
Also, the fact slide that Trump says they're taking all of and then corrects it to most of our jobs.
Right. Which at this point is not true at all. But it's just, it was an incredibly strange, and the sensibility of these journalists who are like, I mean, that's all you needed. If you were so worried about the way you're comporting yourself as a journalist, all you need to do is listen. I didn't get to the other question about whether or not, the question about whether or not you think that, you're great or not. Hello, you. I'm Sam Seder. Looking for smart progressive talk that is occasionally amusing? Well, subscribe to our YouTube feed. Subscribe to our podcast. Like us on Facebook. And just generally enjoy us.